Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC-Mura here, and today I wanted to give you some tips on Poison. And this is a hard video for me to make because, as you know, Poison is one of my main characters. Currently I'm playing Poison and Cody, so Poison I think is a pretty strong character, but she gets by with a significant lack of matchup knowledge from the opponents. And today I wanted to give you some tips on how to play versus Poison, because I feel like people don't understand the matchup. Like, even at the highest level of play, even when you look at, say, the Daigo versus Fudo matchup and the Asia Grand Finals, it was so obvious to me that Daigo had no idea what he was doing. So allow me to explain some of the things about Poison, how you can exploit some of her strengths, and we'll judge them, right? So one of the hallmarks of Poison is the crouching heavy punch. This attack is low. It is pretty good because it's a heavy, it's a low. It have almost like about half screen range or maybe 2/3 screen range. What I don't see people exploiting enough is that this is -11 on block, and this number is very significant. -11 means that you can get a free dash after you block it. If you have a 16, 17, maybe up to 20 even, you get a free dash. You block this and you get a free dash in. Even say from this range, you block it and you just get a dash. So after you block this attack, even if your character can't punish it, because some characters are able to punish it, even if your character can't punish it, unless you are very close, like say from here maybe Poison gets a punish, yeah, but from maximum range or say 70% range, you get a free dash. Think of it as when you're playing versus Dhalsim. This is an even worse version than Dhalsim Limbs. And regarding the punishing, I wanted to show you that some characters like Balrog can punish this, and he can punish this every single time. So I'm holding down back, I'm doing it. Even maximum range and EX dash punch from Balrog is a punish on block. You cannot use this move versus a character like Balrog, and it's not only him. There are a couple of characters like him, like Kami. I think maybe from some spacing Yurien. There are a couple of characters that can completely shut down this move. And even if you can't have a move that is as fast as your EX dash punch, there is this attack. As you can see, I'm holding down back, but I'm still getting punished by his super. Most supers in the game from this range, or maybe this, a lot of them are 8 or 9 frame startup, and a big portion of them will punish this on block. So know your spacing, know where you can use this from. It's a very good attack, but also it's a one that you can exploit. If your character isn't getting a punish on block, worst case scenario, get your dash. Dash forward, and she can't shake you from if you do it from the correct range.
This is your ultimate threat. I can see.
So now I'm going to start and talk about something that's a little bit more conceptual, but I think I tried my best to make you understand it. So, as you know, in fighting games, especially in games like Street Fighter, characters generally and their footsie styles, they are either a poke heavy characters or they are characters who depend on whiff punishing or counter poking. And the thing with Poison is, for the most part, from most ranges, Poison is an active poking character. So for example, from here she's poking you, she's doing hard trades, she is active, right? But what you need to understand is there is a spot in the screen where Poison can't really play that way, and it's about this range here. So if we're talking from this distance, which is almost a dash up distance, none of her normals will reach. So from spacing like that, all of Poison normals just doesn't reach. So from this spacing, Poison changed from an active poking character to a character that will rely a lot on counter poking or whiff punishing, right? And that is something that as the sets went on in the Daigo vs Fudo matchup, you will notice that Daigo started moving closer to this range and whiff punishing Fudo. At the start, he was trying to play from a further range, but as the match went on, Daigo started to pick up and starting playing closer. So from this range, Poison is pretty exploitable. The only thing she can do really that will reach is the crouching heavy punch. And the issue with the crouching heavy punch is, as we saw, it is pretty punishable from this close. So if you do something like that, that's a punish. That's a punish. So what Poison will do more often, what they are looking for is something like that. They are looking for you to whiff something, and then she will punish you. From this range, normally Poison attack doesn't reach. She's playing the whiff punish game. So since from this range she is playing the whiff punish game, what can you do? Well, it's a two-way street. You either play the whiff punish game, or you play an active game, dash up and stuff like that. So this is the spot on the screen where you can exploit her or exploit her weaknesses. Characters who are specifically good at this range, like say M-Bison. M-Bison is amazing at this range, and that's why he gives her such hard issue. Or Cammy, because her dive kick is very strong from this angle or this spacing. Try to play from this range, either whiff punish her or wait for her to whiff, because even if she does something like this, most of this is pretty laggy. So from range like that, try to exploit her whiffing. Try to... This is basically the neutral, like this is where the two-player game starts. It is you versus your opponent and which one has better neutral. What she can do is she will either move forward or she will move backwards, right? If she moves backwards, she is walking herself to the corner. If she moves forward, well then she's close to you, and maybe depending on your character, that could be what you want. So this is something that is just more conceptual, but along with the crouching heavy punch thing, you will have at least a better understanding of what you want to do. Because let's say you're at this range, she does a crouching heavy, now you are in the range where Poison can't play an active poking game. And that's why I was saying you should take the dash. So I hope that the message got across and you kinda have a better understanding of how Poison neutral works. She have one small option left, and that is the light punch event line, but this is -7 on block, and think of it as a fireball. This is basically a fireball, and it does have quite a bit of startup, so it's also really jumpable. So I hope you have a better idea of how to deal with Poison and the ranges where you should be playing from. Now another topic I want to touch upon is, of course, the crouching medium punch anti-air. This is probably the most complained about normal in the game. And while it is an amazing anti-air, it truly is an amazing anti-air, there is a lot of counterplay to this. It's just that for some reason outside of grappler players, a big portion of the player base doesn't really grasp the concept of empty jumps to exploit anti-airs. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's have Balrog jump here. And as you can see, we are trading, or she's winning, right? Trade or win, because Balrog does have a pretty deep jump in. But yeah, the anti-air is good, right? At least we are, like, we are colliding. Whether he wins or I win, the anti-air is active, right? Now, one thing that you need to know is, from the same exact spacing, I'm not gonna change anything. An empty jump will go right through that anti-air. Of course, depending on how I'm doing it, but worst case scenario, you get an empty pressure. So, empty jumping is amazing versus. Just like Chun-Li's back heavy kick, this is an anti-air that get blown up by empty jumps. So is Poison powerless when it comes to this? Not quite. She can do the quarter circle forward, the light kick heal, but the light kick heal is, first of all, it's a special move, so it is unlikely that the Poison player will have the readiness to do it. And second of all, it doesn't have any invincibility. So if we're talking about an attack like a downward angle like that, and because it has some startup, it is prone to trading, it is prone to losing. This will require a much more effort from the Poison player. See, it's kind of hard to do it last moment, while the crouching medium punch is much better as a last moment anti-air. This power jumping is particularly good, but I wanted to get the point across that even then crouching medium punch is a lot better as a last minute anti-air. So if you empty jump this, you can with punish her on recovery, because this doesn't have, like, this have, as you can see, look at this, it have a very small actual vertical hitbox. So if you're not doing a jump attack and making your hitbox wider, I will guarantee that at least 80% of the time that crouching medium will whiff, and then you will get your jump in on it. So again, something that's more conceptual, but I hope that people will have a better understanding of it. I do have some other stuff that I think people are still doing wrong versus Poison, but I'll probably keep it for another video. But as you can see, I hope you at least have now a better understanding of how to fight versus this character. Know your spacing that you can fight her from, take advantage of her negative frames on the long range, and be able to exploit the anti-air game, because her anti-air game, while is an amazing on paper, in reality there are room to exploit it. Characters who can change their jump arcs give Poison a ton of trouble. So I hope you found this useful, and if you would like me to give you another breakdown on any other character, and I know you know, it's kind of weird to make an entire video that is dedicated to the one character, but I think Poison at this moment is kind of a public menace. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please let me know. Please like, subscribe, or share. Please let me know which characters you would like me to see cover next. And as always, stay safe.